What's up everybody, I'm Joe and welcome to the Just Jeepa channel. Today's video is going to be a continuation of yesterday's video, which was showing you guys how to create that little jig for changing drive shaft U-joints, and today we're going to actually be changing the U-joints. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this little jig is going to work out. Today I'm just going to show you step by step how to remove all the different U-joints out of this double Cardan drive shaft, and I'll show you this little tool that makes it easy to get those little clips out, and then I'll show you the U-joints that I got for this drive shaft. So let's get started. Okay guys, before we get started, this is the drive shaft out of my Jeep Cherokee, and it takes 3 U-joints. So different drive shafts are going to use different part numbers. I like to go with the Spicer U-joints. That's what came from the Jeep factory, so we're going to use that. And these little pliers right here are in my Amazon store. I use these to pull off the retaining clips. They're really good. You can also use needle nose pliers, but these grab it a certain way that makes it a whole heck of a lot easier, and you'll get a demonstration once we kind of get started. But here's all the parts we're going to use for my Jeep Cherokee drive shaft. We have the 3, and I'll put the part numbers in the comment section here, or I'll put them on the screen, whatever I feel like doing. The 3 U-joints here, and then the socket yoke assembly, and then like the little dust cover. I like to spray mine down before I get started with a little bit of PB Blaster, just to kind of eat away at any kind of rust that might have got in those yokes. But all right, so I had the PB Blaster sitting in there for a few minutes, cleaned it off, and I just removed some of the crud that was around there too. So that's the retaining clip, and we'll just use these fancy pliers. I got the camera right over the center of this, so I'm trying to give you guys a good shot so you can see what's going on. But it makes it a little awkward for you, but you know what, that's okay. There you go. The clip is out. And this is what it looks like. It's a little clip. Okay, so you might be wondering what this is. So I built myself a drive shaft holder to make this job a whole heck of a lot easier, and I'll leave the link to that video right up here. Super easy to make, and it makes life a whole heck of a lot easier when you're trying to replace these U-joints. So that's a lot of fun, and I'm excited to try this bad boy out. Before we do start banging out these U-joints, I want to get a couple things out to you guys. You're going to want to make sure you get some kind of socket or something that is larger than the diameter of the caps on the U-joints, because if you don't, like this one's a little bit smaller, you'll be pushing up against this and they won't come out. So easiest thing to do, again, you might not have this. Hopefully after you watch my video you'll build one, and then you'll have this. Makes life a lot easier. Use this side here to get underneath, because what you're trying to do is push that U-joint. I'll use my little pointer here, pretty fancy. Push that U-joint through here, and then have that cap come out this side. So it's going to get a little noisy, but just hang in there. Oh, where's my hammer? Here. Ah, perfect. Oh man, gorgeous. And you'll see the cap came through the other side, and it was pushed up right against here, and it went right through that socket. Oh, that makes me so happy. All right, let's go get a pair of pliers, which I might not need that. Okay, now I got my pliers. Let's get these bad boys out. There it is. The cap is out, and everything is good to go. So now, just kind of weasel this end out. Whoa. The U-joint is out. Man. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. Get a little can of brake clean here. Clean it off. Clean it up here. Just get all the oil out, grease, dirt. I want to pay close attention to the little ridges. I think I have to get my skinnier one. Clean the ridges out too that those retainers sit in. You get grime and gunk in there. Just clean them out. I think I'll get my thinner one. Yeah, it's probably too thick. But you get the idea. Let's clean these out, and we'll get started on installing the new ones. Okay, now that's cleaned up, we'll go on ahead and pull out the new parts. That's the part number for the Spicer U-joint. And it comes with brand new retaining clips. We'll save those. And there's a new U-joint. So this is non-greasable, so it comes pre-greased already. But what I like to do is put a little bit in the bottom of the cap. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Be careful of the needle bearings in here, guys, because that'll mess up your day real good. Those needle bearings come out. Okay, now we're going to assemble. So just take the little cross here, right up through there. Be mindful of those needle bearings. Try to keep it as straight as possible. We're going to come down. And now we want to keep the solid part on the bottom. See how things are going. Okay, that looks pretty good. Feel around, make sure it's not tight, make sure none of the needle bearings fell through. Feels pretty good, actually. All right, then we'll just, okay. Now what I like to do is put one of the retaining clips in on one side and then flip it around and do the other. So we'll do that now. But let's first take a look. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. That looks good. Heck, we might even just do this a little bit, just to cheat. Yeah, get our. All right, so I've ditched the pliers that I used to remove the clips, and we went to the needle nose pliers. They're a little bit better in the install process. So we'll just go with that. And just kind of keep your hands on it so they don't go flying everywhere. Oh yeah, that's easy. That's it. And you'll know it looks like that when there's a pretty good gap between that side and this side. If it's really tight, you'll know that it's not fully seated. So let's flip this around and get the other one installed. You should notice at this time that it's going to be a little tighter because now you put pressure, downward pressure, to make enough room for that clip to get into that little seat right there. But that's okay. There's ways to make this all better. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And maybe a little here again. Just takes time. Be patient. Get one end in. Okay, that was easy. And then for good measure, what I like to do is kind of spin them around. Totally fine. But yeah, that's it. And then this is the finished product right there. Voila. New U-joint with the retaining clips. All set to go. Fully installed. And away we go. This part, this part's a little tougher. But don't be intimidated by it. It's literally the same process. Just you're going to have to think it thoroughly once you're starting to map out how you're going to do it. So it's literally that U-joint and that U-joint, and then you just kind of replace it. You're kind of removing it from 3 different spaces. 1, 2, 3. So it's the same process. Take a picture of it if you want before you start. But it just makes some people a little bit nervous about doing this. But you really shouldn't be. It's the same process. We're just going to do it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. And then what you should do, just to make sure it's phased correctly, I'm glad I remembered this, is to take a white marker, a black, however you want to mark it, maybe scratch, use a tool to scratch some marks in it. So when you do install the yoke in the drive shaft again, that you have it phased in the right spot, so you know that this scratch and this part of the drive shaft were facing each other. It's balanced from the factory that way with these little weights here. So if you were to rotate this 180 degrees, you might get a vibration issue. So always, you know, however it was taken apart, you got to put it back together in the same configuration. So white tape, I wouldn't use tape because it might fall off. White marker, scratch it, something to indicate which side is which. So let's do that next. Let's take the clips out. We'll just take them all out. This will go by quick. We've already done all this part, so won't spend too much time on this. One more. You just twist it and get it out of the channel. All right. And we'll just start hitting these U-joints out. All right, fast forward to the removal. Okay, so this piece right here is the centering pin. let's see, let's get the official name here for it. It is the socket yoke assembly. So basically, this guy here wears out a lot, so hence why we're going to be replacing this. There's a little spring inside. It's filled with needle nose pliers. It's filled with needle bearings and that spring. And little U-joint sits right in there, and you just pop it out. And that's what it looks like. And then I'll show you inside. The drive shaft itself has this like centering pin, and it kind of rotates around there. So I'm going to show you something different. I've been using the old hammer and socket routine. Next up, I'm going to show you the ball joint press routine. So check this out. Okay, so let's say you weren't in the mood to do the old banging out with the socket. Ball joint press. And the great thing about this ball joint press is that the U-joints, sorry, you were off camera. The U-joints are smaller diameter than the actual diameter of the ball joint press, because usually you put that little adapter in there. So what we'll do is we're going to push, we already got this out, we're going to push this one through. So we'll set it on this side. And we'll just kind of, all right, bottom out. Take this off. Another way to do it. There's like so many different ways you can do U-joints. We'll just take the cap there. Yeah, we'll just take the bottom. There we go. Cap is out. Luckily, none of these are. Well, this one's pretty dry, but I mean, there's a little bit of grease left, but not much. Again, a little bit of finagling to get this out. But once you get it out, you're good to go. Like I said, once you get it out, you're good to go. Boink. There you go. I'll show you a quick setup again. How this goes. Since there's a little less stuff going on here, you can get a clean shot of the setup for using this ball joint press. So you can rent this at any parts store, or Amazon has these for like 40, 50 bucks. And it's good for ball joints and also for taking out drive shafts. I'm sorry, U-joints. So, all right, let's see if this one's going to fight me as hard as the other one. That other one was in there good. Oh, wrong way. Let's see. Yeah, maybe what I'll do is just a side note. What I'll do is I'll make some sort of brace for this to go in, and yeah, that might be pretty neat. I like that. Anyway, iteration 1.2 of the drive shaft hold down thingamajig. Not too dry. Oh, what do I do now? Oh boy. Came right through. And it fell right out. There she is. Okay. Double Cardan drive shaft stripped down to the bone. I'll show you the end here. This little guy rides in the center, and that's where you get your extreme articulation with the double Cardan drive shaft. Now that the drive shaft is all cleaned up, I just want to go over a quick review of the parts we're putting on. So 2 more U-joints, all Spicer stuff. The dust cap, that'll kind of go on here. And then the centering yoke thingy, whatever. So it's nice and shiny. Comes with a little, I guess if you want to put like a needle oiler in there or greaser in there, you put the needle right through there. There isn't a lot of room for anything other than the little needle to go in the end of the grease gun. So, but I'll just, since I have it out, we'll just stuff that with grease and then hope for the best. So let's get this U-joint in first. All right, I like to put a little bit of grease on the caps before they go in. No point in putting them in without a little extra help here. Just be mindful of those needle bearings again. So we'll just kind of take one of our caps. Take another cap. I'll see if I can use that whatchamacallit again, the ball joint press, just to press this all in. That'd be fun. Get that cap in. Oh, just make sure they go in straight. Trying to push that one in till it's just at the edge where you put that retaining clip in. I think I got that. Let's see, can you? Sorry about that. Installed. All right. Put the other cap on. Okay, now that our U-joints are locked in, time for the dust cap. I don't have a socket big enough to kind of get on that little edge like a seal and push it in, so I guess what we'll do is just kind of tap it in and work our way around it. Got a screwdriver here. We'll just kind of... And then what we'll do too is when we're at that part, we'll just pack this in with grease. So a little tricky here on this part because you're doing kind of two, well, it's not that tricky, but you're doing two things here. One, remember our marks on the drive shaft, line them up, and then you're kind of putting this in, get out of the way. There you go. And now we'll just put one in, put the other in, seal it off. So. There you go. Okay, so I put plenty of grease inside the boot, and then we'll just take this spring, we'll set it right inside there. All right, so that's kind of the end. Okay, so now it's time to assemble this little yoke here. So what we'll do is we'll take, hold on here, take these guys here. Again, I kind of put some extra grease in the caps and on the caps. And we'll build this first. It just snaps in. Might have to give it a little persuasion there because, you know, if you put grease in it, it's going to be a little packed. And now what we'll do is it's kind of like a two-step process here. You'll have to make sure your spring is in the right place. Check your needle bearings here because we just got done fooling around with this thing. And then it's catty corner to this or perpendicular or cattywampus. So you kind of have to get it in there. Yeah, it's a little tricky. Let's see if I can see if it'll give it to me. There you go. Okay, so there's really no clean way to tell you how to do it. You just have to kind of fool around with it and get it in there. Definitely keep this yoke and the U-joint as a pair. There's no way to really do it. Again, don't say no way, right? I mean, I'm sure figured out a way to do something somewhere, but it's in now. And then once we start putting in the U-joints, it'll straighten itself out, and we're good to go. Yeah, it looks nice. We'll see, you got to center it. Can you see? Yeah, perfect. Center it over there. This is where you want to be careful. Let's get that one U cap here greased up. Yeah, this one's a little tricky, but if you're patient and you line things up appropriately, it quote-unquote should go in the right way. Well, that's a wrap on this video, folks. Hope you found it helpful and learned a couple things. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment box. I got to tell you, I really enjoyed using this little bracket I made for the drive shaft. Helped out a lot. So take care of yourselves, take care of your Jeeps. So long 2024, hello 2025. Got some really great ideas for the channel this year. I just want to say I appreciate all the support you give me all throughout the years, tuning into my channel, watching my goofy videos. Really do appreciate it. I hope to give you some good content for this year. And if you guys have any ideas for contents, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll take a look. So take care of yourselves, take care of your Jeeps. Happy New Year, everybody. See you in the next video. Later.